So this is the last video I'm going to make of the year 2023, and at the time of recording there's about 9 more hours left in Cambodia of 2023. Now I was going to do, I had so many ideas of doing a video. Is it going to be about EVs? I was thinking about the second-hand price. If it's done over 100,000 kilometers, then the battery is going to cost you an arm and a leg. So the car value just shoots down, and is it worth buying it? I was thinking about doing a summary of the Gorges Dam, what's happening, but I sort of did that yesterday, and the answer is nothing really. What about happening in Israel and Palestine? Well, what's going to happen, what's been happening? No, I wanted to avoid that. My brand new motorbike that I bought in July this year, or 2023, I was going to do a view of how it is after 6 months. And basically my Honda ADV 160, a small scooter, you could say executive scooter, because it's really nice to drive. I was going to do a review about that. Maybe I was a bit lazy and just, couldn't be bothered. So what's happening for you New Year's Eve? Well, here in Siem Reap, Cambodia, the city centre is going to be absolutely crazy. There are going to be millions, and I do mean millions of people in the city centre to come and celebrate. In some of the entertainment venues like Pub Street, for example, there'd be fireworks, the traffic would be crazy. There'd be 1 million people on the street, a lot of loud music, and come the new year 2024, within half an hour it sort of goes really quiet and everyone goes home. Here I will be staying at home. I've done it once, the crazy city centre New Year, not going to do it again. What about you? What are you going to do on New Year's Eve? Are you going to go with friends? Are you going to go to a party? Where are you celebrating? Are you in some place in America like New York or Australia? I don't know, the Philippines, somewhere in Africa, for example? Do let us know. That'd be really interesting, and how you are going to celebrate. I remember my uncle. Well, it wasn't actually my real uncle. It was my auntie's husband's brother, who used to have these massive parties in a town called Berkhamsted. And there must have been about 70 people. He had a really big house. So they were really enjoyable when I was young. I was actually trying to think of my best New Year ever. And I think it must have been when I must have been 19, I think 20 years old, like something very young. And my friend Julian and I, at the time, I had a small mobile disco, and it was a last minute booking, and it was in somewhere in the countryside, and it was absolutely fantastic. Everyone really enjoyed it. Went on till about just after 12:30. I think my friend Julian, who did look like George Michael at the time, managed to kiss a bunch load of girls. This is when George Michael hadn't come out of the closet. My friend is not gay. He just looked like George Michael, and no one knew that he was gay at the time. That was George Michael, not my friend. That was my best one. So here, I think we're going to have a small barbecue. Nothing very flash. We're going to put some hamburgers, maybe some sausages and some baked potatoes on the grill, and just eat that. Yeah, maybe I'll drink some Jack Daniels, some whiskey with some Pepsi, ice, and some soda. Would have some snacks, and I'm sure a lot of our neighbours would do exactly the same. Some will go into the city centre, but they will be stuck in a traffic jam for hours and hours and hours, because the road infrastructure for most of the year is fine. It's not a problem, but when it comes to New Year, It's crazy. So my girlfriend and I are not going to go out because you are going to get some drunk drivers and some kids who will be riding the Honda Dream motor scooters at 100 kilometers an hour with no helmet. It's just not worth it. And if you do come to Siem Reap at New Year's time, then you can get into the city centre, but get here early. I would say get a tuk-tuk or a pass-up at the free-wheel taxis, and then maybe walk. You would need to get a reservation in some kind of restaurant if you wanted to sit down and see the action. And I think most of those reservations will be booked. It's just such a popular place. Some people I know will be in Times Square in New York City. Some people will be in Dubai. Some people will now actually be in Sydney, and they'll be by the Harbour Bridge waiting for the countdown. And that's exciting. It's always good to see on TV, but I actually just prefer the quiet, peaceful life. This title I'm putting under coffee chat. So, the new year is to start afresh, and I hope in 2024, I'm a sort of believer that the Russia-Ukraine conflict will come to an end. I think it's going to be like I think there's going to be some kind of amnesty or some kind of like peace treaty will happen. And I think Putin's got to be a bit more flexible, and so has Zelensky. I hope in 2024 the Palestine conflict will come to an end as well, and maybe a peace treaty signed and etc. like that. And unfortunately, there will be another kind of conflict in 2024. We also do have some highlights. We do have the Paris Olympics coming up in, next year. The Tokyo one was meant to be in 2020, but we had COVID that got in the way. And then it was last year, near enough, in 2022. So it's going to be in 2024, I do believe, for the Paris Olympics. That's going to be quite enjoyable. All the tennis which will come up. Now, I do like watching tennis now and again. So next month, we're going to have the Australian Open, the French Open, Wimbledon, and then the US Open in Flushing Meadows. What else? For me personally, in about 2 weeks' time, just over 2 weeks' time, I will be going to Thailand to go and visit some of my friends, and I will take my trusty camera there. Here we go. And not too sure what we're going to show. I will do some of the streets where you can see all the exciting stuff, but I want to go to other places where other YouTubers don't kind of video, so to see the other side of this area of Thailand, which a lot of people go to. It's a lot of fun, and for me, I just love the shopping there. So I will buy a couple of t-shirts. I will buy actually a new coffee machine, my cappuccino machine, because that's actually broken down. The last one I bought for there only cost like $90. But this is the thing, about 3 years ago, I did buy a very expensive one. It cost over 500 US, but it broke within 2 years. So just get a cheaper one. And if it breaks every year, well, hey, that's okay. Because even the expensive ones seem to break, and I don't mind that coffee machine that costs 90 to 100 bucks rather than one that costs 500 and breaks within 2 years. The economics actually make sense to buy it like that. What else? Other plans for next year? That's all I got for myself at the moment. I do want to sort of forgive the people like George, for example, who makes these fake videos on YouTube related to the Gorges Dam overflows, collapses every 2 weeks. And again, I'm really surprised at the views. I will forgive the people who do the really awful propaganda related to China is such a wonderful place and the West is such an awful place. Here's the thing that I don't get. These people from New York City who are pro-Palestinian, and they will always do the other side of the story. And I'm sure that these journalists are meant to be subjective, not objective, or is it the other way round? One of the two. And I will forgive them for their BS propaganda. And if you watch their videos once in a while, like Danny Haifong or Brian Beletic or the Portified Media, and the guests they bring in, it's only one-sided. And if you listen to them very carefully, they just manipulate the truth in a very intelligent way. And I just sort of like, I will watch them until a certain point. But these are the kind of channels that won't, if you put a comment in, they won't reply to it. And anything negative, they will just take away from their comments, and it will only be positive comments, etc. I will forgive you for 2024 there, but I wish you would do two sides of the argument. So you can do the pro-Palestinian side, but then do the pro-Israeli side as well, and get the information from both sides, not just from, you can say, the Western media like New York Times, perhaps getting it from also Sputnik or RT News. So people who want to view both sides can listen, not just to dictate one side of it. I hope that Xi Jinping, the president of China, or the dictator, or the general secretary of China, will step down, because he's made China such a mess. Of course he will deny it. He said he alleviated poverty, and the poverty line in China now is $282 per year. That's under $1 per day. If you earn over that, you're not poor. So it's just the number that they created, and that's why they say they alleviated it. It's complete bogus. I hope he resigns, and I hope he has a peaceful life. Again, with Putin, he is being classed as a war criminal. I don't particularly like the guy, and I wish he would step down as well, and more someone who's more democratic, not manipulated by money, and where we can have, you could say, global trade back to normal, and the recession will be over. Get rid of this stupid second currency like BRICS, which is just a name for most people, and it hasn't really done anything at all. The Chinese economy has got a little bit better over the last 2 or 3 weeks, so hopefully their recession may come to an end, etc., etc. So these are the things that I wish. Now, I doubt, being a realistic person, that they will happen. But dreams do come true, and I hope one way or another some problems are solved with some kind of solution. I always say that politicians are, well, useless at making decisions. There's always a yes and a no. Business people should actually really control the world. Donald Trump, he's a great businessman, and that's why he was, and hopefully next year he'll be re-elected as the president of America again. But I'm sure that the Democrats will find one way or another to put him in court, or just waste taxpayers' money related to kind of pushing him down under. Electric vehicles, going back to them again. Well, the good news is in the UK, the deadline for no more gas guzzling cars is now 2035. And when that gets closer, I'm going to be, it's probably 2040 and 2045. Things related to that. So until the EV market actually settles down and the cars are better, the batteries are better, the charging is faster, the charging is cheaper on these mobile chargers when you're doing long distance, because around town, yeah, they're fine. You can charge at home, that's okay. It's going to get you to A to B, and yeah, that's going to be really cheap for you. But again, these cars with less machinery in it, basically cost an arm and a leg. I think the cheapest one is a French one, but I can't remember that name. But here's the thing, an electric car like a Porsche or something, I don't think they're going to make them anymore, but an electric car like a Porsche, I think they're going to stop making them. It's the same price, if not more, than a regular kind of Porsche, whatever it's going to be. So EV cars are just not on my thought at all, not the slightest possibility. One, because in Cambodia, it's not a hot topic, and there's no, maybe in the capital there are some charging centres. People do have them, but they would just charge them at home, for example, and that would be it. I think this coffee chat has come to an end. Thank you so much for your time. It's one thing I can never give back to you. If you're still here at the end of the video, love to give me a rainbow. Please, as always, like, subscribe, check your subscription, hit the bell notification and hit all, so when a video comes out in 2024, there, you'll be notified about it. And if you feel generous enough to support my work, as they like to say on YouTube or my channel, the links for all this are in the description below, through Super Thanks, through Become a Member, or Patreon. I know there's lots of other ones that there, but I just keep it simple for you. So drop us a line, let us know what you are doing for New Year. Is it exciting? Is it a great party? Are you going to go and see some fireworks? Or is it just a cozy night in and maybe having some drinks with some friends? Or is it going to be a wild, wacky party somewhere? God bless to all, and Happy New Year. Happy 2024. Bye-bye for now.